Joshua chapter 24. And Joshua gathers all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and calls for the elderly of Israel, and for his heads, and for his judges, and for his authorities, and they station themselves before God. And Joshua says to all the people, Thus said Yahweh, God of Israel, Beyond the river your fathers have dwelt of old, Terah, father of Abraham and father of Nachor, and they serve other gods. And I take your father Abraham from beyond the river, and cause him to go through all the land of Canaan, and multiply his seed, and give Isaac to him. And I give Jacob and Esau to Isaac, and I give Mount Seir to Esau to possess it, and Jacob and his sons have gone down to Egypt. And I send Moses and Aaron, and plague Egypt, as I have done in its midst, and afterward I have brought you out. And I bring out your fathers from Egypt, and you go to the sea, and the Egyptians pursue after your fathers with chariot and with horsemen to the Red Sea. And they cry to Yahweh, and he sets thick darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brings the sea over him, and covers them, and your eyes see that which I have done in Egypt, and you dwell in a wilderness for many days. And I bring you into the land of the Amorite, who is dwelling beyond the Jordan, and they fight with you, and I give them into your hand, and you possess their land, and I destroy them out of your presence. And Balak son of Zippor, king of Moab, rises and fights against Israel, and sends and calls for Balaam son of Beor to revile you. And I have not been willing to listen to Balaam, and he greatly blesses you, and I deliver you out of his hand. And you pass over the Jordan and come to Jericho, and the possessors of Jericho fight against you, the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, and I give them into your hand. And I send the hornet before you, and it casts them out from your presence, 2 kings of the Amorite, not by your sword, nor by your bow. And I give a land to you for which you have not labored, and cities which you have not built, and you dwell in them. You are eating of vineyards and oliveyards which you have not planted. And now fear Yahweh, and serve him, in perfection and in truth, and turn aside the gods which your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve Yahweh. And if it is wrong in your eyes to serve Yahweh, choose for yourselves today whom you serve, whether the gods whom your fathers served, which are beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorite, in whose land you are dwelling. But me and my house, we serve Yahweh. And the people answer and say, Far be it from us to forsake Yahweh, to serve other gods. For our God Yahweh is he who is bringing us and our fathers up out of the land of Egypt, out of a house of servants, and who has done these great signs before our eyes, and keeps us in all the way which we have gone, and among all the peoples through whose midst we passed. And Yahweh casts out the whole of the peoples, even the Amorite inhabiting the land, from our presence. We also serve Yahweh, for he is our God. And Joshua says to the people, You are not able to serve Yahweh, for he is a most holy God. He is a zealous God. He does not bear with your transgression and with your sins. When you forsake Yahweh and have served gods of a stranger, then he has turned back and done harm to you, and consumed you, after that he has done good to you. And the people say to Joshua, No, but we serve Yahweh. And Joshua says to the people, You are witnesses against yourselves, that you have chosen Yahweh for yourselves, to serve him. And they say, Witnesses. And now turn aside the gods of the stranger which are in your midst, and incline your heart to Yahweh, God of Israel. And the people say to Joshua, We serve our God Yahweh, and we listen to his voice. And Joshua makes a covenant with the people on that day, and lays a statute and an ordinance on it in Shechem. And Joshua writes these words in the scroll of the law of God, and takes a great stone, and raises it up there under the oak which is in the sanctuary of Yahweh. And Joshua says to all the people, Behold, this stone is for a witness against us. For it has heard all the sayings of Yahweh which he has spoken with us, and it has been for a witness against you, lest you lie against your God. And Joshua sends the people away, each to his inheritance. And it comes to pass after these things that Joshua son of Nun, servant of Yahweh, dies, a son of 110 years. And they bury him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-Serah, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north of the hill of Gaash. And Israel serves Yahweh all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elderly, who prolonged days after Joshua, and who knew all the work of Yahweh which he did to Israel. And the bones of Joseph, which the sons of Israel brought up out of Egypt, they buried in Shechem, in the portion of the field which Jacob bought from the sons of Hamor, father of Shechem, with 100 kesitah. And they are for an inheritance to the sons of Joseph. And Eleazar son of Aaron died, and they buried him in a hill of his son Phinehas, which was given to him in the hill country of Ephraim.